Welcome to Activation Nation, where we talk all things business, mindset, momentum, and what it really takes to build a life you love. I'm your host, Mindy Trimble, and I am so excited for today's call because we have two of our favorite guests joining us. Lisa Barnes, our VP of R&D and Regulatory, and Christina Beer, our Director of Research. I always love when we have Lisa and Christina here with us because they bring the science, which I know that you all love hearing about. They talk about the education and the deeper understanding behind our products. And they have such a great way of explaining things to everyone so that we can really see the value of what we have here at LifeVantage. Today, they are going to talk about our newly launched product, Hydrate. I hope everyone has it in their cart and ordered. We're so excited about this. And they are going to walk us through the science behind it, what makes it different, and how we can really confidently share it with others. So Lisa and Christina, thank you as always for being here with us. We appreciate it. And we appreciate you taking the time, really, because I know that both of you are so busy, and I love that you come and share your knowledge and understanding with us. So thank you for being here.
Hello, Activation Nation!
Hey, guys.
We are incredibly excited to be here today because we're digging into something that's incredibly basic on the surface. But when you actually unpack it, it explains a huge percentage of why people feel low energy, struggle with recovery, and just don't perform the way they expect. And this something is called hydration.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting is hydration is one of the most oversimplified areas in health and performance. I mean, most people still think in terms of, am I drinking enough water?
Yeah, Lisa, you're right. And that question alone misses what's really happening physiologically inside the body. Because hydration isn't just fluid intake. It's about fluid balance, electrolyte status, and cellular function.
So let's start with what people are actually experiencing. They're working out consistently, they're trying to stay healthy, they're drinking water, and yet they're still feeling fatigue, brain fog, slower recovery.
You're absolutely correct, Lisa. And in many cases, it's not even a training issue or even a nutrition issue at first glance. It's a hydration inefficiency issue.
Yeah, and this inefficiency is largely driven by electrolyte depletion. Every time you sweat, exercise, heat exposure, wherever it comes from, even in chronic stress, you're losing sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, and those losses are rarely being replaced properly.
Yeah, and this can create a dilemma because when you only replace fluids without restoring electrolytes, you dilute extracellular balance, which means hydration becomes less effective at this cellular level.
Exactly. And that's where you start to see the symptoms, even with mild dehydration. And that's looking like fatigue, cognitive slowdown, muscle dysfunction, delayed recovery.
Yeah, and I also want to emphasize that it's important this doesn't require extreme dehydration. Even mild imbalances can impact neuromuscular performance, cognitive clarity, and metabolic efficiencies.
So let's connect this to recovery because that's where people are really going to feel that gap. Recovery is fundamentally dependent on this fluid balance, nutrient transport, and cellular repair processes.
Right. And if hydration isn't optimized, you're limiting all three because you're impairing how nutrients are delivered, you're impairing how waste products are cleared, and you're impairing how efficiently tissues recover.
And that explains why people often feel like they're accumulating fatigue instead of adapting to their training. So they're not progressing, they're just staying stuck in a rut.
Yes, they're staying in a net stress state instead of moving into recovery.
So if we define effective hydration properly, it's not just intake. It's going to be fluid plus electrolyte balance plus absorption and utilization.
You know, that last piece, utilization, is where most hydration solutions fall short. And that's where a product like Axio Hydrate becomes relevant. It's positioned around a very specific concept: fuel hydration, power recovery.
And that aligns, of course, perfectly with what we're talking about. Hydration as a performance and recovery tool, not just this baseline habit.
Exactly. The Axio Hydrate is designed to replenish essential electrolytes, support fluid balance at the cellular level, and maintain energy and performance throughout the day.
So ultimately, it's addressing both sides of the equation. So hydration status and functional output. So let's talk electrolytes because that's where most of the market focuses.
Yes, they do, but they often oversimplify it. A lot of products differentiate based on more electrolytes or higher doses.
But physiologically, it's not just about the quantity. It's about ratio and balance.
You're absolutely right, Lisa. Axio Hydrate emphasizes a specific electrolyte ratio to support optimal hydration dynamics.
And it's a more sophisticated approach because the body regulates fluid movement based on gradients, not just intake.
Yep. But where it becomes more interesting is how the formula extends beyond electrolytes.
Right. This is where it shifts from a hydration product, so just an electrolyte, to a recovery support system.
Yes. And to address that support system, we included specific ingredients such as tart cherry extract, which is associated with improved recovery and performance. We also added rosehip as an antioxidant support for exercise-induced oxidative stress. And we also included an amino acid, glycine, which supports hydration pathways and sleep quality. But we can't forget trace minerals. We have also included 74 naturally occurring trace minerals that enhance electrolyte bioactivity and bioavailability.
And that's a key point because improving bioavailability directly impacts outcomes. It's not just about what you're consuming, it's what your body can actually use. So if we zoom out to the hydration category, most products fall into two groups: high sugar sports drinks, we've all seen them at every convenience store, or basic electrolyte mixes.
Yep, and both are relatively narrow in scope though. They address hydration, but not necessarily recovery, oxidative stress, or nutrient utilization.
So Axio Hydrate differentiates by combining balanced electrolytes, so that's what everyone else has, but also recovery support ingredients and bioavailability enhancers. It's what makes it shine.
Yeah, and so instead of a single function product, it's a multifunctional approach to hydration and recovery.
And from a usage standpoint, this isn't just limited to high performance athletes.
No, you hit the nail right there. It is not. It's relevant for lots of different people. Normal, everyday folks like you and me needing hydration, people working out, high demand professionals that are under a lot of stress, and for anyone looking to improve daily energy and recovery.
Yeah, and there's a lot of places to use this product. So you can use it during your workout. It can just be in your bottle after your workout as part of your recovery, just during the day to stay hydrated while I'm sitting in my office working on my computer, traveling. It's really an easy product to fit into your routine.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think the main takeaway is this. Hydration needs to be reframed from a quantity problem to a function problem.
Exactly. It's not am I drinking enough? It's, is my body actually functioning optimally based on what I'm consuming?
Yeah, and when hydration is optimized, we know you see improvements in energy, recovery, cognitive performance, and overall resilience.
So for anyone feeling like they're doing the right things, but they're stuck in the rut, they're still not getting the results, it's worth looking at hydration through this more advanced lens because these small shifts here can create disproportionate improvements.
Exactly. Lisa, this was fun.
Yeah, we always got to have a little bit of nerd time, but I hope that you all enjoyed joining us in that little bit of nerd time, and I hope you've learned something new about hydration. You have a few more tools in your tool belt, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts about Axio Hydrate. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Activation Nation podcast. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for future episodes and updates, and share with a friend or prospect that you think could benefit from today's conversation. Check the episode description for any links or disclaimers, and we'll see you next week for another episode. And now, the legal stuff. The statements made have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Individual results may vary.